Here it is the new Audi RS5 Sportback, and I didn't have much sleep last night because I was driving this thing. I really like Audi RS cars and I think they are quite special, and of course this is a new car, it is a facelift. So compared to the previous Audi RS5, from the front there are some differences. The grille, for example, is lower and wider. There are some other differences inside. Also, of course, the wheels. The wheels are a new 20-inch bronze finish option. They look quite good, and I think they are quite useful if you're driving the Audi RS5 because it will probably match your brake dust. Now, this car is indeed quite special. It is the top of the line Audi sport car when it comes to the A5, but you can get an Audi S5. Now that is powered by a 3-litre V6, but this is powered by a 2.9-litre V6. So here's a top tip. If you actually choose an Audi RS5 Sportback, you will save $118 compared to the Audi S5. Great savings! The Audi RS5 Sportback is not priced as of 3rd December 2020. The 2.9-litre V6 twin-turbocharged engine produces 444 brake horsepower and 600 Nm of torque. The 8-speed Tiptronic transmission brings the car from 0 to 100 km/h in 3.9 seconds. For more details on the Audi RS5 Sportback or any other car, head on to sgCarMart.com to help you make a smart choice on your next car. I actually really want to drive this thing, but for some reason I still need to talk about the boot. So the boot is indeed not too bad. I feel 430 to 465 liters of boot, so it will fit in terms of length because it's quite long, and this RS5 is technically a liftback. So it can fit an anti-trolley, and also it can fit a luggage bag very well. So if you're sort of surprised the numbers are 400 plus, don't be, because it can fit all these odd shaped items with ease. Now let's talk about the back seats. Right, back seats, which means we are one step away from being in the front seats and driving this thing. So let's make it a little bit quick, but people who actually buy an Audi RS5 Sportback actually do want the space at the back. And there is quite a significant amount of space here for someone like me. And the seat, of course, is set to my comfortable driving position. I'm just under 1.8 meters tall. There is a little bit of headroom, not that great. There is leg room, there is a bit of wiggle room, there is a bit of knee room. It does quite well. But if you look at the whole layout of this car, especially in the rear bench, you do notice that it is actually sort of meant for two in the rear. Transmission tunnel is one thing, it is a little bit high, but if you look at the two seats at the back, you can tell it's sort of designed to hug two people at the back. But I will show you how it looks like if I do get to the middle seat, and as you can tell, it is a little bit high, it's a little bit tight if you look. So that being said, keep it for two at the back, you will do just fine. And speaking of amenities, of course, you do have air conditioning vents with climate control at the back, so very little to complain about for people in the rear. Now, to the front seats. Alright, we are in the front seats. So it's an RS5. Let's start this fella. Put it into RS mode. Lovely 2.9 litre twin turbo V6. Lovely sound. So yes, we are in the new RS5. There are a few changes because this is the facelift, so let me talk a little bit more about what makes this RS so special. I mean, you do have this very nice steering wheel, and the seats are nice and comfortable, and you can adjust how much you want it to hug you. That's quite nice. Elsewhere, this interior looks pretty much the same, but what they have done is updated the infotainment system to MIB3. If you look at the screen, the user interface, it looks very much familiar like the usual ones that you see in new Audis today, but it doesn't have other screens. So all the other controls have been removed from the pre-facelift car. Previously, there was a touch control interface over here, but it's gone. They've removed it and put a cubby hole over here for some reason. And because of that, the design of this car is still very much based on that little touch screen at the bottom here. So you have to reach out and touch the screen if you want to control various infotainment and car functions. Well, it is a bit hard to reach out, especially in my seating position. So in terms of usability, it's not that great, but it's quite easy to use, so it's fine. Elsewhere, of course, you do have actual air conditioning controls, because this is not the new Audi RS, or rather the new Audi screens that we see. So I like this very much. I'm going to miss them. It is quite cool. It is quite usable. If you touch these buttons over here, it actually tells you what are the rest of the menu functions available, so you don't have to guess and flip through all of them. Well, this is quite a nice space, I feel, and we should go out and drive it. This is an RS5 Sportback, so it does come with this RS mode button on the steering wheel. It isn't very flashy if you compare to the likes of, let's say, the Audi R8 with the whole start button over here and stuff like that. But it does have this button. When you press it, it goes to 2 preset RS drive modes. You can hear the exhaust come to life. Transmission goes into sport immediately. Of course, these are things which you can adjust later on. But what I do like is that the head-up display, the moment when you press the RS drive button, it shows a lap timer. Great. Not exactly sure when I will need to use a lap timer, but it works out. It feels very nice and sporty. And of course, the other information that is important to the driver, like the speed and the gear, is there. But the only other thing that you see is the oil temperature. Yeah, that's all you really need to know. Although I shouldn't be talking about comfort, especially when I'm driving something like an RS5 Sportback. It is indeed quite comfortable actually, but it really depends on the road you're in, on the road you are on. If you're on a highway or expressway like I am now, it is indeed quite comfortable. It is very well damped. But the moment you get to, let's say, minor roads or some road works or some other road undulations, it gets a bit tough, and you will notice it not just from the vibrations and the bumps that gets in the cabin, is when you have to sort of mess around with the 10.1 inch infotainment system. Now, it doesn't have, like I mentioned earlier, the whole 2-3 screen layout that you're seeing in the new Audi, so this is quite a reach, especially in my seating position. So you realize after a while you're sort of bouncing around and trying to like change certain settings, and you have to reach out and sort of hold the screen, which is, yeah, it's just a little bit annoying. But of course, this car is not meant to be comfortable. It is an RS5, so yeah, you shouldn't really be talking about comfort. Right, let's talk about performance. This RS5 is powered by a 2.9 litre V6 twin turbo, which makes 444 brake horsepower and 600 Newton meters of torque. It is quite a bit of power, and after all, this is quite a big car. But through corners like these, the RS5 feels like a hot hatchback, which is kind of strange. And the best part, this is four-wheel drive, but it feels very lively in the rear actually. It feels sort of like a very well set up rear-wheel drive car, which is a bit strange, which left me sort of speechless actually when I was driving this. There's a lot of grip and there's a lot of stopping power. This car can stop, but oh, I can't get enough of this. This is fantastic. And at the same time, because of the fact that it has so much grip, it has so much performance and braking performance, for people who are new to driving fast, this is actually quite approachable. It's not something that will really bite you if you do something wrong. The rear will come out a little bit just to tell you that, you know, you're pushing the car a little bit hard. But aside from that, the balance that this car gives you is quite impressive. What I do like about this car is that it has quite a few shift patterns. First, you do have D, which is normal, pull it back and you get S. But when you switch to manual, there's MS. So manual sport. Well, I thought that shifting in manual would have been quite sporty already, but apparently, according to Audi, that isn't true. So this makes your shifts more aggressive, and of course, when you let off the throttle, you have that fantastic burble. Let's hear a little bit of that.
Bruh.
Ooh, it's mean. It is very angry. So, is the Audi RS5 Sportback a will buy, won't buy, or go try? Well, for me, it is a go try, partly because there is a better driver's car out there, is the BMW M3. But I say go try because this car is very approachable. You can drive it fast if you want to, but it won't bite you, which I think is good. It's very good actually, and it's quite nice to drive also in Singapore. So if you ask me, go try the Audi RS5 Sportback if you're looking for a high performance sedan. So we've come to the end of our review of the Audi RS5 Sportback, and I want this review to end because I want to actually enjoy driving this car. So if you want to see more reviews from us, don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and of course if you have any thoughts, don't forget to leave them in the comment box down below. So I'm going to actually drive this thing a little bit more, and I will see you guys next time.